Today on Peliculas with the Bros, we review the movie The Fabelmans, and we have hot takes like, is Spielberg our Zaddy?
Does Fabelmans prove that Steven Spielberg is out of ideas?
Sup, bro?
What's up, bro?
And welcome everybody to the show. This is Peliculas with the Bros. My name is Adrian.
My name is Ivan.
And Peliculas with the Bros is a show where me and my brother Ivan discuss a movie. Every week we discuss a new movie. Ivan, what's the movie of the week?
The Fabelmans.
The Fabelmans, directed by,
Steven Spielberg.
watched by,
You.
and
Me.
I got him. But before we get into that, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. We are a podcast about movies. Every week we're making a new podcast. So if you're into that kind of thing, if you want to listen to two brothers talk about a movie every week, you're in the right spot. And if you want to watch us, go to youtube.com and look up Peliculas with the Bros, and we should be there. Hit that subscribe button and hit that like button if you like what you're watching. Also, we are on any podcast platform that you like to use, you weirdo. So if you like podcasts on Apple Podcasts, get on Apple Podcasts and look up Peliculas with the Bros. Also, we're on Google Podcast or Deezer, iHeartRadio. What else?
Spreaker.
Spotify, Deezer. I don't know. All those things were there. Just look us up, Peliculas with the Bros. And lastly, let us know what you think of The Fabelmans. If you watched it, if you haven't. Also, if you haven't even watched it, leave a comment about what you think about our outfits, because we're looking swaggy, P-alicious, right?
Kind of twins.
Kind of twinsies. But enough of that, Ivan. Are you ready to get your film editing machine as we look through frame by frame of this film? And hopefully I don't catch you mysteriously holding hands with some other podcast host. Do you get that? Remember the movie when the mom's holding hands with the...
Oh,
God.
I guess.
Someone wasn't paying attention. Ivan, what's the movie of the week?
The Fabelmans.
The Fabelmans, directed by Steven Spielberg. What's our nickname for Spielberg?
Full name.
Steven Spielberg.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'd say like Dr. Steven Spielberg.
Or, as I had a hot take, Zaddy Steven Spielberg.
You could do that.
Woo. Directed by Steven Spielberg. Written by Tony Kushner and Steven Spielberg. The premise of this movie, Ivan. Sammy and his family are not your typical Jewish family. Sammy's father is an innovative computer engineer. And his mother is a stay-at-home mom that gave up a career as a pianist. Really quick, Ivan. You're going to be I don't know, someone that plays out at a symphony, like at Tar Symphony.
Yeah.
What's the instrument that you choose?
The bassoon.
What does the bassoon look like?
I don't know.
Oh.
Just
What's your
sounds-
instrument, damn it?
Maybe a piano or a trumpet.
You're not a violin guy?
No.
I was reading something that like a violinist has to like feel how hard he goes into it. Like he hears the wood touching the wood and the string, you know? Like, dang.
Too much.
I think I'm going to become a violin.
Yeah.
Okay. I digress. The premise continued is Sammy is obsessed with making movies. From the time he was a young boy, it seems like all he cared about was making movies however he could. This desire and ambition are constantly tested and aided by his parents as they try to do what's best for their family and also for themselves. With a cast of Gabriel LaBelle as Sammy Fabelman, Michelle Williams as Mitzi Fabelman, Paul Dano as Bert Fabelman, a.k.a. the Riddler, Seth Rogen as Bernie Lowy, and Judd Hirsch as Uncle Boris. You gotta rip it. You gotta feel it. Ivan. Mr. Steven Spielberg.
Yeah.
We've discussed many of his movies.
Yeah.
I think the most recent was Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
We also discussed West Side Story, which she didn't like too much.
Jaws.
That was the most recent one.
Yeah.
Forgive me. I don't want to talk too much about his career or anything because we already know it. Blah, blah, blah. Made some of the biggest movies ever made. What is your Spielberg movie? If you're like, Gotta watch. If I gotta watch Spielberg, this is my movie.
Probably E.T.
Good pick. Good pick. It's either E.T. for me, Hook,
Uh-huh.
one of the Indiana Jones, but I don't know which one.
Oh, then Indiana Jones. I switched to that.
Indiana Jones. And I recently watched Catch Me If You Can.
You did that?
Yeah, with our boy Leo and Tommy Hanks. COVID Tom Hanks. And that movie was really good. Probably not as good as the other ones, but yeah. E.T. almost made me cry at the theaters. Jaws was like, okay, sure. Great movie, but it's a great movie. Indiana Jones, come on. Come on. Ivan. It's funny because, like, I was listening to a podcast, and the guy was listening to music.
Mm-hmm.
And if I listen to, like, the same song, I'll be like, yeah, it was a good song. But the way he listened to it, like, he went bar for bar, and he's like, come on. That was so good. And the way, if you do that with everything, it makes everything so much better. But it's a lot of energy. And sometimes you just want to drive to work. Interesting. One thing that I've heard a lot about, but I didn't really give two shits about until recently, is that he's a very good director because he does blocking very well.
But like time blocking?
No, like in films, blocking is like the composition of a frame. So you have like a character here, a character there, and this background here. And what I realized is like what the idea is like a lot of directors, what they do is they use editing as a crutch. And what Spielberg tries to do is not use editing as much and edit in the filming. So as he's capturing one scene, he tries to move to the next scene essentially in one take. And either like zoom in, zoom out, move the characters a bit, move the setting a bit to make the movie feel better. And I was like, oh, I've never noticed that. And the amount of that's so difficult the way they described it, because like if you do have two characters here and then you want to emphasize like something else over here, you do kind of need to be innovative as far as like how far do you zoom in, where do these characters go so they're not in the frame, you know, like all of these little things that I'm like, holy shit, planning it all and having the actors know where to be. And then there's also like subtleties of like the meaning of having a character here and having a character over there. As far as like the plot, sometimes it means like the opposite sides, you know, or if they're like close together or where everyone's looking.
Right.
And he's like a master of that. And I was like, holy shit. And unfortunately, I didn't watch the film like that. I just watched it like a dumb newbie.
Right.
So I'm going to start watching for that. And then the video I watched on YouTube that was explaining it, they're like, JJ tried to do this, but he sucked at it in Super 8. Like there's so many things that he does that he tries to emulate Spielberg with the blocking, but he messes up because like some of the characters aren't in the right spot. So it feels fake when they move to a specific spot just for the purpose of what he's trying to do.
Yeah.
I'm like, holy cow. And then I was listening to an interview with Rian Johnson, the guy that made Glass Onion. And he had like a bunch of questions. He said he talked to Spielberg and his like main questions were around blocking. And at that time, I didn't understand what blocking was. But now that I do, I'm like, okay, so Spielberg is this like guy that knows how to use the camera like an expert. And that kind of unlocks a lot of things for me. But it sucks because I already watched a lot of his films and I don't want to rewatch them. But it is something I'll take to other movies too. Yeah, but imagine the planning for that.
I think the movie kind of builds like how he got that skill, like, because he had to edit like that.
Yes.
Otherwise, it would be like super time consuming.
Yes.
So like the not the crutch, the thing holding him back improved him as a director.
Yep. That's something we always say.
It's just natural for him.
Yep. Ivan, how the sausage was made. Let's look at how the.
Film was developed.
I mean, is there anything more apropos than what you just said, Ivan?
Nothing.
Okay. The idea for this film has always been there for our boy Spielby.
Okay.
He had a discussion with Kushner, the co-writer of this film, who's actually a Pulitzer Prize winning playwright and also screenwriter. And he's like, they were making Munich back in the day, and he told him his life story. And then Kushner's like, you're gonna make a movie about that one day. He's like, I don't know. But COVID happened. The pandy happened, and he asked himself, if I need to make one more movie before I die, what's that movie? And it's this film. And his parents both passed away before this film was finished, or maybe even before it was like beginning. And there's thought of like maybe he didn't even want to touch this movie until his parents passed away. Because for those of you, maybe it's a little long in the tooth to say it now, but that this is basically about his life.
Yeah.
Like note for note.
Yeah.
So sensitive subjects for his parents. So I guess there's like things that I think about in that sense too. Like if I were ever to do anything based off family, you have to be kind of considerate in a way, or you don't.
I think I would just not care after a certain amount of time. Like if I'm 40 and then you did a movie based on like your life from like 15 or 20 years ago, 20 to 25 years ago, and it was like embarrassing stuff about me, I was like, I'm past that, bro.
Yeah.
Grow up.
But that's because, maybe there isn't that. The things that I would tell aren't that embarrassing in the totality of like what could be embarrassing. Like if I were to expose something about our family that's very detrimental to like a relationship, right?
Bring it on. Bring on the problems.
You're like, show me slapping my mama. I dare you.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's all that. There's a interview where Seth Rogen, not Joe Rogan, Seth Rogen said that Spielberg was crying a lot on set.
What a girl.
And it's kind of crazy. I think I would cry too if like I was making something about my family, and then you're watching it and you feel like the actors are really your parents or your brothers or sisters, and like, oh shit, it's about to make me teary eyed. This is the last John Williams plus Spielberg connection, because John Williams is retiring after this.
Sure.
I mean,
Spider-Man 4, he's coming back.
no.
Yeah.
Come on, Ivan.
Yeah.
Greatest John Williams score. It's either
Star Wars.
Harry Potter,
Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Has to be.
There's E.T., Star Wars, Jaws. I think Harry Potter has to be in contention. Probably won't win, but it has like the greatest little.
I think Star Wars has like 10 songs that are like just
slap.
iconic.
You're right. You're absolutely right. But what about?
But that's like one super iconic song versus like 10.
So what wins?
I think the 10.
All right. The greatest hit album beats out the one hit wonder.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. Lastly, the cast was given footage of Spielberg's home videos so they can kind of get in character.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of crazy. It's like 40 years old VHS, or probably not VHS, some crazy
Reels.
shit. Reels?
Reels.
Let me watch that reel of you. Ivan, what were your expectations of this film, if any?
I thought I would be bored.
Don't finish that sentence. Don't finish that sentence. Hold that in. Honestly, I had like super high expectations for this film.
I knew it was going to be good.
Yeah.
But
Ivan.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I knew it was going to be good, but for some reason I amped it up so like I felt like it was going to be an amazing, like take my breath away. I was about to say blow my breath away. Cause I don't know why. I was like, Spielberg, oh, he's gonna do his own life story. This is about to be crazy.
I know he's wild. I know he's crazy.
But now that I think about it, why would it be that crazy? It wouldn't be that crazy.
No.
It's just gonna be beautiful.
Like, look at the movies he's made. Like, you could get his vibe out of that, and then this movie is like,
Yeah.
that's exactly who would have been created.
Yeah. Like a Tarantino probably has a more exciting life than Spielberg.
Yeah.
And then given that, you should probably be anticipating some crazy shit in a Tarantino film.
Mm-hmm.
But I shouldn't be anticipating like craziness in a Spielberg movie.
No.
But that all that's to say that in this film something crazy kind of does happen. But it's kind of just like I don't know. He plays it well.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Ivan.
Meh.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Get in the proper form. What do you think of this film?
It's good.
Damn, Ivan. That works actually.
As a brain dead, no life left in my body. It's good.
Okay. Long movie. I feel like the next month is gonna break us because every film's like 3 hours long.
This is the very. I won't opinionate this. It's the appetizer.
It's the appetizer. What's like the longest movie we ever Drive My Car, huh? That was brutal. It was 3
doozy.
hours.
A doozy for sure.
This movie, I liked it. You just said I liked it, right?
It's good.
It's good. Okay. I liked it. Very beautiful.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, that's a beautiful movie.
Yeah.
So much time and care given to like tell his story, which I think you kind of expect. Spielberg makes these like beautiful looking films, and he's telling a story about his life. Come on, let's go. It is a tad dull though, and it's not to say that it's boring. Like it's not like oh god, but it is just like kind of wanes on me.
Wow,
a little
your
bit.
life is pretty boring, sort of thing.
That being said, it is cool to get a glimpse into like the guy.
The mind of a genius.
And I mean, it's kind of crazy that we're at this point in cinema where we're now getting like the story, like the literal story of the greatest director of all time, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And this probably couldn't have happened 30 years ago, 50 years ago. And it's like where stories are going is more meta, even more and more meta than ever.
Mm-hmm.
You're just delving into like what hasn't been told, because everything has been told already.
Right.
Many ideas in this movie that resonate, obviously, with like whoever. There's parental pressures, parents being humans, high school drama, racism. The main conflict of this movie, though, is Sammy wants to make some goddamn movies.
Mm-hmm.
And his dad is kind of an interesting character who's like supportive to a limit,
Mm-hmm.
and he sees it more as a hobby, the classic trope. But he's not the classical trope of the parent that doesn't like it, where it's like, you will stop making movies.
Breaks his camera. This is what you get.
And then his mother on the other side is
Annoyingly artsy.
yeah, she's like the kind of girl you see at school that like you try to talk to her, but she can't complete a sentence because like she's in her own world.
She's violently whimsical.
Yes. I love that adjective, violently, to anything. That's so good. And she's supposed to be like this pianist, but she became a stay-at-home mom. She's kind of manic.
I'd get annoyed. You're like, can you be normal?
Yeah.
I know that's her, but it's like,
If you were who? If you were
if I was him, I would
the The
Be
dad?
like, I'm already tired of this girl after like a week.
Yeah, and their kind of relationship is they both respect each other.
Yeah.
Like, oh damn, you're such an artist. Oh, you're so smart, you know?
Mhm.
And it's different, you know? You don't really get to see that kind of, they're not classic archetypes of these parents that one's completely opposite from the other and they don't like
Mhm.
each other. No, they do love each other in a weird way. And Sammy, as a kid, he has a skill to make movies. There's that scene where he watches a film and he sees a train wreck in the film and he's like traumatized slash enthused and encouraged to do the same thing, and he makes his own little short film. And his mom sort of eggs him on to continue on this, where his dad's like, it's just a hobby. And it makes me think like how important just the littlest thing that his mom did, where let's film this, and her knowing that how much basically she created Spielberg, you know?
She's the real genius.
She's the real genius.
Spielberg who?
And I think about like my childhood.
Jeez.
No. And like maybe like any time I showed like an interest, and I wonder if like my parents saw something that or recognized like, oh, he might be interested in like sports, so let's really push him into sports. Or he's interested in cartoons, let's really push him to like drawing.
Watch
right?
cartoons. Clink.
And I wonder if that could have changed anything. You know, like what could have been. Do you remember anything in your child, like, because I can't remember anything in my childhood where like, oh, I wish my parents would have encouraged me to do that.
No, I just vibed as a kid. I was like, that's pretty cool. 5-year-olds, that's slick.
Hey man, that's pretty cool. Keep it up.
It's like teacher.
Hey teacher, you're smart, man. Keep it up.
You're all right. I like the cut of your jib.
You're cut. What?
The cut of your jib.
I'm gonna use that.
Graham cracker of
Graham
a saying.
cracker of a saying. Was it a real spitfire?
Real spitfire. Red hot chili pepper of a daughter.
And Sammy's making films. He learns how to like. There's a scene where he's editing a little western that he made from him and his friends, and he sees that the gunshots that they're doing look fake. So he edits it to make it look more real, and it does look more real. And his dad's like, "How'd you do that?" "Oh, I just cut frame out, or put some holes in it." He's like, "Oh, you're a real engineer." Just the idea of like what a director is, not just an artist, but like
Problem
solving. There's the other thing that's what is it? The parental issues. Which I guess is more so the main conflict of the movie, right? We have Mitzi, who kind of loves her husband, but there's this guy called Bernie, who is essentially the third wheel in their relationship.
Yeah.
And he's supposed to be the dad's best friend, but unbeknownst to everyone is actually like low key not a lover, but like a romantic interest, right?
Yeah, romantic friend.
And did you like at what point were you like, what's going on here?
What do you mean?
Like, did you see Bernie? I'm like, why is Bernie always here?
Oh, no.
Or was it until the big reveal?
I got a little inkling at the start when they're having dinner, and then they're like, Bernie's like my best friend. He's gonna be here. But then there's like a conversation between Bernie and the wife.
Yes.
Where like they just seemed a little too chummy.
Yes.
Like too friendly. I was like, is this intentional or like, but I didn't like think more than that.
What about for me, it was the scene when she was playing the piano and then Bernie and the dad went and started chasing the wife.
Oh, that
and
was
like
a little later though.
Bernie picked her up and I'm like, I wouldn't let my friends just pick up my wife like that.
Yeah, but she's very whimsical.
It's true.
I don't know, like maybe there's precedents, like something like that before. Or they're just
Let it skate by.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a weird relationship. But while watching this, I'm like, there is something weird. And then obviously there's like the big reveal that kind of almost breaks the family, which is that Mitzi does have a thing for Bernie.
Mm-hmm.
Sammy's mom has a thing for Bernie, the family friend. And I don't know. I think the movie kind of makes it seem like the mom doesn't even realize that she really loves him.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that is true, or do you think there was like a thing going on that they didn't show? Like kissing, touching.
Oh,
Yeah, you know what I mean.
relax, Jesus.
Or was the feeling more just like, yeah, we're best friends, but maybe I didn't realize we were.
I think it was just like a soul to soul connection. Like there's nothing physical besides like hugging, stuff like that, hand holding,
Yeah.
like just intimate stuff, not like anything worse than that.
Right.
Because she's very whimsical. She doesn't seem like that type. She seems more like your soul. It aligns with my soul.
Right. And when you're saying whimsical, you're kind of also implying flirty. 'Cause like, but flirty without even realizing. Because
I'd
it's
say-
like her attitude towards things is very like affectionate, right?
Yeah, I would say it's flirty without like any
Pretense.
Yeah, just like her vibe.
Yeah. Yeah. I was I don't know if I should have said. Yeah, I was at a brewery with a friend who will not be named, and a girl came up to my friend, and the girl was with her significant other. I don't know who the friend, that person was, the girl, and she's like, "Hey, don't I know you?" And he's like, I think so." He's like, "Yeah, remember I flirted with you at work, at your work?" So she said that in front of her significant other. And then like I was just like I was like to the side just letting them talk. And then I was like, "What the hell?" And I was like capturing it, all the emotions from everyone, and the guy just was like kind of pissed. He's like I'm like, "Why would you say that?" But it's the attitude the girl has towards that kind of thing, like,
Whimsical,
yeah, like, "Oh, it's nothing. I'm just flirting with a guy."
I guess.
But it's like, "Oh, what the hell?"
Nah, that's weird. Get out of here.
Oh, that's so good. Uncle Boris, probably my favorite character for the 5 minutes he's in the film. He is the grand uncle of Sammy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Since he's like the uncle of Sammy's mom. And he himself works in the film industry.
Mm-hmm.
And he comes after Sammy's grandmother dies to pay his respects, and he stays with the family in Sammy's room, and he's telling them about like his career in a way, and he's like, "I can tell, Sammy, that you have like that itch in you. You want to make films, baby." And he's like, "Oh yeah, I mean it's my hobby." He's like, "No, you love it, and guess what? All that love you have for it, it's gonna tear your family apart. You're gonna love it more than your family. You're gonna love it more than your mom." He's like, "No." He's like, "Listen to me, boy." Whoosh, whoosh. And it ends up becoming kind of true, right? Like, the art ends up tearing his family apart. As far as like the way Sammy found out about his mom is through editing the film.
Yeah, I guess.
But what if there's something to be said about that weird relative that comes like once every 5 years that you have no idea who they are, and they sleep in your room, and you're like, "Okay, I guess I'm sleeping with you in my room because my mom is making me," but you're like not very comfortable. How many experiences have you had like that?
Every day of my life.
Come on, tell me about it, bro. Write a story about it. I just love that actor.
Mm-hmm.
He's just so like chutzpah.
Himself.
Yeah, it's very good. It's very good, Ivan. Um, I think I'd already talked about that. High school time. The movie moves along. Sammy's in high school. Um, they move from where they were in Arizona to California, presumably North Cal. Not as good as South Cal, as me and Ivan would attest.
SoCal gang.
Oh yeah. I don't know why I did that. Ivan,
Oh.
we're not promoting violence here.
It's a BB gun.
As he gets to school, Sammy he starts getting bullied. There's anti-Semitism, which is horrible. Imagine just like racism. I've never felt that kind of racism.
I don't know. I feel like I might laugh if it happened. If it was so blatant like that, like I would think it's a joke. Like, oh, this guy's kind of cool because he's breaking the meta right now.
Yeah.
Like, you're so meta. You know it's bad, so you're playing it up for me. I know.
Okay.
We'd be best friends, but no, he's just
Ivan,
racist.
you'll get punched in the face. Ivan. Yeah. And then so there's like the bullies at school. He doesn't like it at school. It's kind of like the typical high school story of the new kid being bullied.
Mhm.
But then he gets a girlfriend who's super Christian. And I think this is such a like interesting thing that could be its own movie about like this super religious girl from an opposite religion trying to like put the Jesus into you, and just the awkwardness of that,
Mhm.
and the fact that Sammy's kind of like going along with it because he just wants to kiss the girl. It's very, very well done. And like just like the obviousness of like, yeah, I'll do anything as long as like I get to kiss you and maybe touch a boobie or two. And the fact that the girl is so weird, like we gotta pray to Jesus, and like taking his spirit. And I kind of knew that she was gonna play that kind of game of like, I'm gonna take in the spirit and and Jesus is gonna control me to kiss you. But very well done.
Mhm.
And it's so specific that you know that really happened to our boy Steven Spielberg. Just some random Christian girl's like, I got the hots for you, so I'm gonna take the Holy Spirit in me. There's a pivotal scene in this movie where Sammy is filming Senior Ditch Day, and he shows the film that he captured at Senior Ditch Day, on Senior Ditch Day at prom. And in this film, he kind of glorifies one of his bullies, who's the jock, right? And the jock's reaction to this is basically breaking down and asking, why did you show me like this? What do you think? And the way he said it is kind of like, you built me up to be this hero that I am not. And why are you doing this after I bullied you? Are you trying to build sympathy? Like, am I supposed to be a jerk now? Like, why does he get so crazy psychologically? Like, what's going on there?
I think he knows he sucks, and then seeing that and everyone seeing him like that, he's just like having a mental breakdown. Like, I actually do suck. Why do people love me?
Right.
And then the fact that he made a movie about that is kind of like, do you see me? Like, do you see that I suck this much?
Like, you know I suck, but no. But you're saying like, Sammy knows how much he sucks, but he's still showing him in a good way. So do you know the real me?
Yeah, something like that.
And you're trying to help me by hiding it?
I think he's just confused. Like, how am I a bad person? And then you do something like this that makes me look like a good person, but you hate me. So it's like a million thoughts at once. Like,
right.
Makes sense.
You broke my brain.
Yeah.
And then Sammy's kind of retort is, I'm just showing you what the film's telling me.
Yeah.
Which is kind of an interesting idea. But I think after that, he also says like, actually, I just wanted you to like me for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Which one is it? Is it both? Is it one more than the other?
I thought he was like sarcastic when he was saying that, like just slightly.
Oh, like, how about you just liked me instead?
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. But it is interesting that it's kind of meta as far as like the film tells me. The film doesn't lie.
Mm-hmm.
The film is, was it like is not biased.
Mm-hmm.
It'll show you the truth.
Right.
And you are this hero. Kind of cool.
Yeah.
I like that. And then we have like the year later scene, and Sammy is trying to work at CBS.
Yes.
And he goes and he has this interview with some kind of CBS guy, and the guy's like, I have this director that you need to meet. He's the greatest director of all time. Ends up being John Ford, a director he idolizes, who's played by David Lynch.
David Lynch.
I think we need to do David Lynch filmography.
I'm good.
All right, come on.
I'm good.
Every one of Twin Peaks shows, and then all his movies, baby. But basically, he get John
Ford.
Ford tells young Sammy, look at this art. What do you see? He's like, two Indians. No, you dummy. The frame. Where's the horizon line?
Horizontal, you're trying to say?
I was gonna say horizontal line. Where's the horizon line? Oh, it's right there. Okay, where do you see it in this one? He's like, it's right there. It's like, okay, if it's at the top, if it's at the bottom, it's a good movie. If it's in the middle, it's boring as hell, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Sammy walks away from the little talk he had with John Ford, all happy, walking down the studios, and then the shot gets reframed.
I
from-
puked visibly when that happened.
Was that kind of corny?
Yeah, but it's like on purpose, so is it corny? But yeah, it is corny. I don't care. Jesus.
What's your main problem with the film?
It's boring.
Like deep down, what's wrong with this film?
It's boring.
Is it really boring though?
To me, I think the main thing is that it's just not for me in any way. Like, I don't need this message.
Yeah.
It's not like I should be an artist.
Right.
I think this is more for like those, like a 16 or 17-year-old who's like getting into movies. They see this and they're like, I have that sort of thing. But I don't really care about that. Like, most interesting was like the mom relationship. But even that, I was like, why don't you just, like, all three of you live in one house? Like, just a little modern situation.
Right.
But I was just annoyed with her. I was annoyed by a lot of things.
I one random thing before I forget. The daughter, Sammy's sister.
Chili pepper of a girl.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you notice?
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't notice until someone said it. I'm like, holy shit.
I know.
She's on her ways, isn't she?
Like, her filmography's already like 2 for 2 technically. Like Tarantino and Spielberg. Yeah. That's pretty crazy.
Russo brothers. She was in The Gray Man. She's going down, huh? Yeah, what was I saying? Oh, the interesting about this film, and I think it's another good film to watch, like after watching this or before, is the one we talked about, Armageddon Time, because they're kind of they're very similar in the sense of like the meta-ness of it and like coming of age, blah blah blah, showing the kid as a youth. I liked Armageddon Time so much better.
Yeah.
And it hit me so much harder.
I appreciate Armageddon Time more now than I did before.
Yeah.
After
because you gave it Armageddon Time 3.75, right?
Did I?
I think so.
That's cruel. I'm a cruel man. I need to change.
And Armageddon Time almost made me cry like 3 separate times. In this movie, like maybe came close 0.5 once or half of the time. And I just think that Spielberg's like way of filming is very
whimsical.
It's so classical.
Yeah. Like he doesn't really give you an opportunity to be like really sad. It's like Like everything feels like a little nostalgic, like that sort of sadness.
And even if it does make you, even if he is trying to make you feel sad, or trying to like hit you in the gut, that kind of punch doesn't work on me anymore.
Grown man.
Like I can parry that punch,
Ding.
but because his style is so like it's the like a classical film style now.
Yeah.
Whereas maybe James Gray, he's a little more modern and he knows how to hit me with a new type of punch that I haven't seen before. It's a lot grittier too, you know? Like this film is very pretty.
Well, like with Armageddon Time, I think the grittier is the dad who's like just abusive, essentially. And he
But
just-
even the racism is like a lot more hard hitting.
yeah, but like I don't think I've seen many movies where like the dad is shown as like straight up like a bad person like this.
Right.
Not overall bad, but the abusiveness of that.
Yeah.
And this, like, the worst was that his mom loved two men, sort
Yeah.
of thing.
Yeah.
And it was like just
And even that was kind of like very
he makes it like almost like fairy tale like
yeah.
it's not even a bad thing. It's more like what's the word? Like he doesn't condemn it exactly.
Correct.
Whereas James Gray, I feel like, yeah, this guy, he's bad.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it.
Yeah. Good point. That's a good point. I have a review here from Richard Brody, our favorite reviewer at the New Yorker. Yet for all its tenderness, empathy, warmth, and verb, the Fabelmans has the feel of myth making. A feature-length promotional video for an authorized biography, keyword authorized, of a filmmaker who is far from self-made, is in any case self-propelled. I can kind of see that, just the idea of like, this is an authorized biography of the Spielberg legend,
Right.
where maybe an unauthorized can show a little bit more grit. Maybe there isn't more grit, but still.
I just had the thought, but like the person who it's about, the biography, if they make it, they're gonna be just biased.
Yes. But, okay, go ahead.
That's right.
Oh.
That's right.
Oh.
But then James Gray, I feel like he came at it kind of unbiased. Like he didn't make his dad that much of a better person.
Yeah.
Where I'm sure, well, maybe Spielberg's life was pretty peachy because it felt like he didn't really have anything bad going on.
Like,
and
the
divorce-
worst is his dad, or the second worst is his dad, like,
yeah.
not being fully supportive, but he still bought him like cameras, he bought him editing machines. It's
He
like,
was like more supportive than I've ever seen. But what was the
that bias.
the bias? And then like an unauthorized retelling would probably be a little more honest, if like ironically, just because he doesn't really want to paint people too badly, especially Spielberg, because that's not his style to make things look bad like that.
Yeah.
Is like hook, whimsical,
Yeah.
fun.
Correct. And he's like, I make movies for the masses. So the guy that makes the blockbuster, he's probably going to end on a happy note.
I think I'm gonna steal from Mad Men, just a tad.
I mean,
But like whenever Don mentoring Peggy, he's like you're the product. Like you feeling something, that's what sells, not like whatever riches, money. Like you're selling to yourself, and then that is what people will like. I think him saying he makes it for the masses is kind of like almost like it's not exactly what you should be doing. Not that I'm like telling him,
right.
Spielberg, you're
Right.
doing it wrong for 80 years. But if you I think he just words it wrong. Like he should be saying, like, I make it for myself, and then myself is kind of aligned with the masses, like the fairy tale thing.
I'm not sure if but to be fair, I'm not sure if he's ever said, I make it for the masses.
Oh, so you just made me look like an idiot on live TV.
TV, right? But what if, like, to your point, he is like so kind of boring that like the movies he likes are kind of perfect for the masses because he's like,
Boring.
I'm a boring guy. I just
This
like
is
great
like-
movies.
For the people who haven't really gone through anything in their life.
Yeah.
Just like occasional heartbreak.
Occasional racism.
Occasional. Maybe like they didn't get the first job like on the first go. Like they had to do another interview.
Like,
Like-
oh, God forbid you need to do 3 interviews.
Yeah. Like no real tragedies. This is.
No, this is mean. We don't really know, right?
I know.
Okay. One thing you do know, Ivan, is what you rate this film. Ivan, out of 5 buckets of popcorn, what do you rate The Fabelmans?
Give it a 4.5.
No, you don't.
Yep.
Ivan!
And then I would like to apologize to James Gray and his family.
And give it a 5 out of 5?
I give it a 4.
So, 4.5 is extremely high.
Yeah.
After you just said this movie's boring.
Boring isn't bad.
Oh.
It's just boring. I'd rather not be bored.
Who wouldn't? 4.5. I'm literally like astonished.
I just think like there's nothing really wrong with it. Like it's just a story, and then it goes and it happens. You know.
I think everything is a story that just goes.
But it's also boring. But nothing's wrong with boring. Like
So it's like essentially perfect, but not for you.
yeah.
Wow. I gave this movie a 4 out of 5, and now you're making me rethink
You
my whole
suck.
life.
Horrible.
I think I gave Armageddon Time 4.5, just because it made me feel something.
I would give Armageddon Time extra points just for being a little more modern in terms of like making horrible people exist. Like this feels a little unmodern. But I can't take away points for that.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Well, that's The Fabelmans. We'll be back next week with a new film, but let's get into more stuff right now, Ivan, and let's blow through these. It's time for a section called
Things and such.
Disney.
Indiana Jones.
If you want. Disney let go of their whatever, and they brought back Iger.
Bobby Iger.
Bobby Iger, the
Yeah.
Eggman.
Yeah.
Um,
We like Ig. We like Ig.
we want we.
Moving on.
They let go of their guy because they're losing a shit ton of money. Streaming isn't necessarily working. My question to you is, how do you fix it?
Sometimes things die.
There you have it.
And there's
people.
nothing you could do about it.
There you have it.
I think it's not going to die, but they thought it would be a lot bigger than it is, and it's just going to shrink down to what it should be.
If a movie like Strange Worlds that used to make 100 million on a weekend, or like at least 60 million on a weekend, is now making 10 million, how do you fix that? Because it's going straight to the theaters,
Yeah.
but it's not working. And then like, even if they put that in streaming, that movie cost $150 to make.
Right.
You know how many like subscribers you need to vouch for that $150?
Yes. I know how many. I think we just got to restructure what it means for a movie to be in a theater. Probably no more kids movies, no like Strange Worlds type of things. Not saying Pixar shouldn't be, but I think high-end kids movies where like it could appeal to both. Because like who's Strange Worlds for? Literally 5-year-olds and idiots and ugly people.
Word.
I forgot.
I think Strange Worlds is like the movie. The movie doesn't work because there's no, like you're saying, who is it for?
Just it's like kids, but like what's that mean?
Like from watching the trailer, I have no idea what the hell it is. Like you need to trigger the parents' reaction so they can take their kids. And when a film doesn't do that, nowadays, it will not work.
You know, like I'd imagine having a kid and you're like, okay, let's watch a movie. Should we go through the horrible effort of taking my kids to a theater where they will...
My annoying little kid
Yeah.
who spits at me if I do something bad.
In my mouth. With precision. Or do I just go, stay home, and then we watch the same stupid movie we've always watched?
Right.
And I think that's just it.
And then like I kind of think about music and how musicians make money, and it's like the music doesn't make them the money, the merch does.
Mm-hmm.
Or the touring. And if you apply that to movies, maybe the movie doesn't make you the money, but the merch does. And I don't know what I'm trying to say but maybe movies aren't going to be, I mean, obviously they're not what they once were, but like even bigger. Like they need to be simplified, less of a budget.
But even merch isn't like the solution. Like you should be able to like watch it. Like I want to watch this piece of art and I'm willing to pay $10, and that's it.
Yeah,
that should be it.
That is it.
That's it.
Next
Echo.
question. Okay. Live Nation, Taylor Swift.
Sued.
Basically, no one can buy a Taylor Swift ticket because they get sold out too quick. And Live Nation is making it worse because they have a monopoly. And they charge a shitload for even one ticket.
Mm-hmm.
Making it feel like most people are poor now. Like, you need to be a millionaire to go watch Taylor Swift because it costs $500 to even get a glimpse of her hair.
Mm-hmm.
What's gonna happen?
Utter collapse of society as we know it.
Knew it. That was my first inclination. But
Yeah.
I wanted to hold back.
Uh,
I think it's like,
it's just that people are getting tired of it. It's gonna change with Taylor, and like finally, like this should have been Kanye, but he's not himself.
wait, what do you mean this should have been Kanye?
Like fighting to make music accessible,
Oh.
like this, like bare minimum.
But isn't this Taylor's fault too?
In what way? For making such a banger of an album?
Woo! No, for like, aren't you like supposed to care for your fans, but you're charging them?
But I don't think she's doing the pricing, and I think you have to like.
But she has the most power in the music industry.
Yes.
As the most powerful person, you're supposed to fight against Live Nation. Why do you need Live Nation?
But she's fighting now.
Oh, is she?
That isn't. I thought that's what you're.
No, I don't think. Well, I don't know.
She was suing Live Nation.
Is she?
Yeah.
Go Taylor.
Yeah.
I think I said Tyler Swift, by the way.
I don't remember.
Okay.
They will.
If Taylor does this, I'll love her. I'll love her with all my heart.
Move over, Kanye. Taylor.
I talk good. I don't even want to talk about that. Ivan, time for a section called What's on the Telly? Have you watched Andor?
Nah.
Ivan, I'm about to tell you something right now, and it's gonna blow your brain. It's gonna bring it back together, and you're gonna be motivated. Andor is the best show of the year.
I already knew that.
And I watched it all, and it's the best piece of Star Wars since Rogue One. And it's better than House of the Dragon, and it almost made me cry, and you should watch it. It's an A. It's an A, Ivan. It's a 9 out of 10. It's a 4.5 out of 5.
Maybe next time.
You need to watch it. Ivan! It's really good.
I believe you.
I didn't expect it. Like, where it went, I thought it was going to be, like, extremely boring, just like Obi-Wan.
Mm-hmm.
Just like kind of Mandalorian is at times. But it was so freaking good. And there's going to be 2 seasons. And the second season is the last season. Oh my god. It's transcendent. It's transcendent. What are you watching?
I watched The Menu.
I watched it too. I watched
5 out of 5.
It was really good, huh?
Yeah. It tickled my fancy.
It applies to so much of like to any art form.
Yeah.
Like everyone ruins everything.
Yeah.
So good.
The burger.
The burger. She's like, I just want a fucking burger.
Yeah.
Can you do that for me? He's like, I'll make the best burger you ever tasted. I'll see about that.
We'll see. We'll see.
And then she eats it and she's like, can I have it to go?
Oh, he solved the riddle.
Wow.
What a picture.
I hated the boyfriend.
Yeah.
Like at a point I was like, why is this guy like this? I'm like, oh, okay. I'm kind of getting it now.
I'm him.
My question, if we did a podcast, was like, are we the guy for ruining it, for like digging so deep into the culture that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's us. That's us. Yeah. I saw Glass Onion, but we're gonna do our own podcast. Oh, it's not out on Netflix. They showed it at theaters, and I went to go watch it.
Is it like gonna be playing for weeks or?
No, just 1 week. You missed your chance.
Thanks for the reminder.
Just wanted to watch it. It was to be revealed. The World Cup is going on. I had 3 teams going in: USA, Mexico, and Germany. One team made it out alive. USA. USA. Kind of crazy.
Yeah.
World Cup's kind of crazy.
Okay.
Round of 16 is next. If USA wins, they move into the round of 8.
Have they ever done that?
No.
We're not getting there.
Yeah, probably not. But
I think we're turning into weapons. Like give us time. We'll get there. Maybe not this time. Maybe not next time.
I honestly thought, like, at a younger age, I was like, I think by this time we would have been like a world power, but we're still not there. It's going to take so long of a time.
It's going to happen, though, and people are going to be like, what?
Yeah.
How'd they do it?
Wait until, like, our basketball players and our football players are like, freak this. I want to play soccer. Then you're going to see LeBron James, Kobe Bryant's running down. Oh, we're going to be so good. This is going to be crazy.
Oh, my God.
Ivan, lastly, it's time for a section called Really Be Bussin'. Did your Spotify year-end wrap-up?
Yeah.
How did that go?
Delicious.
What was it?
Elvis.
Really?
Yeah.
Dang. Were they like, you're the only one that listened to Elvis this year?
You're a psychopath. It was pretty good.
What else?
It was Elvis, Drake, not Kanye, I don't think. I think it was like 6 or something. I gotta look it up.
I didn't have one.
Well, you don't? Oh, you have Apple Music? They
Yeah.
have one.
Do they?
Apple Music has one.
How did I get it? Because I didn't get any kind of notification.
I don't know, but I know they have one. Let's see. I don't have the thing.
What time is it?
4.
Okay, let's wrap this up. I have nothing in terms of music for you.
I don't think music exists anymore.
No, at least not during these months because of the holidays.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. We'll be back next week with a new podcast. I think the movie might be, I don't know, it might be random. Because there's no movie coming out next week like I thought there was. In any case, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. We'll be back next week. Please leave comment, leave a review, subscribe if you can. Ivan, any parting words?
Goodbye.
That's it.
Yes.
All right. Peace out.